time. So how many of us are temporarily insane when we're angry? Raise your hand. Let's be honest. Oh, really? You guys are not being honest. There's a few hands, maybe 30 hands here. When someone starts yelling, we begin to lose our ability to use logic or hear reason, right? So when emotions are high, reasoning is on the left side of the brain, emotions on the right. Okay? So when emotions are high, the ability to reason is low. When emotions are low, the ability to reason is high. So when is a good time to talk about how to resolve the conflict? When the emotions are high or the ability to reason is high? Yes. So this is not a good time to give consequences here when they're temporarily insane. Even judge won't give you a sentence if you're insane, you're freaking out. Oh, let's take a recess. They'll let you cool down. Okay? And once you calm down, then they'll talk and they'll work out things and come up with a good plan. We need to do the same thing. Okay? So why do we increase the level of consequence if somebody will not stop being insane? You say that one more time and I'm going to give you a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can't talk to me like that. And then they do it again. You just told them they couldn't, but they did. Now what does the word can't mean? Now how much power does your words have? How much control do you have? They just showed you who's in control. When you tell them they can't do something that they just did. You can't talk to me like that. You can't say that. Don't you walk away from me. And then they walk away. It's so crazy. You know, we teach them, what's the first step in anger management? Walk away. They're mad. They're trying to walk away. Don't you walk away from me. Why do we do that? Because at that point, we have walked into their misery. Misery loves company. So now they don't want to be mad alone. They just pulled you in. And now you're saying things you can't even impose. And you're losing more and more control. And they're laughing. They got you. You made me mad. I got you mad back. Yes! We escalate the consequences. You've got a week. You've got 2. And of course, you're stuck with that kid now for how long? 2 weeks. That's it. You've got the tension with me for 2 weeks. Wow. What were you thinking? And then you would say, well, Jim, I was temporarily insane. Well, yes, that's exactly right. And when we're insane, we don't say things. We say things that later we go, why did I do that? And then you also heard that you have to stick with your consequences because if you don't, right, then they win. So now you're really in trouble. And I'm going to show you how to get out of that later, okay, in a few minutes. So first, let's get them calmed down, and then let's talk about how to resolve that conflict. So the first thing we do is we validate them. Now, I know for a lot of men, that's a hard word to say. I know in college for some men, commitment was hard to say. And then we have validate. What's that? That's like a touchy-feely feeling word. So validate, to make it simple, is, wow, I can see you're frustrated. I can see you're upset. Whatever the anger is, what's the feeling that you actually see? By the way, you know, teenagers, one of the common mistakes in 20 years of counseling is my parents don't listen to me. They don't listen to me. And then the parents make them even more angry by repeating everything that they just said. What? Oh! They're so mad because they don't know how to communicate to their parents how they feel, or their parents don't give an opportunity to tell them how they feel. They just tell them no. No! Can I go to this concert? Nope. Can I go to the beach? Nope. Can I go to Disney with my friends? Nope. Can I go to City Walk? Nope. And then they get so mad instead of like, well, man, that sounds like fun. That sounds like you'd have a really good time. I know how much you love going to City Walk or Universal or Disney or going to the beach with your friends. I know sounds like a really good time. I just validated the exciting feeling. You don't have to just validate somebody when they're upset. I just agreed with how they felt, and I empathized with them. And then they go like this. And now they're ready to hear no. A little bit easier. I've got a little more emotional capital here if I tell them no. But maybe I'm going to say, well, but you know what? I'm not sure if I really like that artist, or I'm not too sure if I'm crazy about, I don't really know the friends that you're going with. So that's how, and then of course they're going to get upset. What do you mean you don't like my friends? You don't like my character? And then they start trying to make it personal. And then if you jump in with them, you just jumped into their misery. But if you validate how they feel, oh wow, you seem upset about that. You seem really upset that so what I'm hearing you say, is you feel like I am not, agreeing with your friends. Or I'm not agreeing with your choices. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Yes, stop repeating me. And you don't want to patronize them either, okay? You want to really understand. Remember, we're putting our arm around them and we're having a conversation. We're feeling how they feel with them. Because their feelings are real, just like ours. They're people too. They may not be independent completely, but they're people too, and we need to really preserve their dignity. So as we're playing that out, and we're empathizing with them, they're going to hear no a lot easier, but it's still not going to be easy. Okay? And then just say, well, hey, I'd love to meet these friends. Bring them over. I'll have popcorn. We can I got that ping pong table out back, or they can come over and go swimming, or we can have a movie, whatever you want to do. And if you are real approachable, then that's going to work. And it's going to be cool. You want your place to be a cool place for the kids to come, and hang out. So, well, what about school? What about like in the classroom? What if they're angry about something? Okay? Try to use we want to use a neutral tone, we want to validate, we want to agree with the emotion. Of course, they're going to say, no, duh, when you validate them. Man, you seem angry. No, duh. I'm not frustrated. Okay, so how are you feeling? I'm mad. Okay, so you seem mad. Yes, I just said that. Of course I'm angry. You want to, once you've done that, then all of a sudden, this is what happens. Of course I'm mad. Of course I'm angry. They're getting the feeling out. They actually need to name the feeling. Some teenagers, like the boys especially, I'll say, you're emotionally constipated. I'm sorry, ladies, but that's how guys get it. They don't understand it any other way. But you're backed up, dude. You need an emotional enema. We gotta get that out. I had a kid just yesterday. He was turning red in my office as we were talking about him being bullied and having girl problems. He's a high school student, and he's like, I'm fine. I'm like, dude, you're turning red. You're about to bust out and cry right now. And then he's like, hey, Mom, could you leave? And then he started talking, started opening up. Because I just kind of, punch him in the eyes. And it's kind of like an emotional punch in the. And I'm like, dude, come on, this is bothering. There's problems here. You're about to bust. It's okay, man. Let's talk about it. Okay. So that's how I get teenagers to open up to me. I mean, in like 10 minutes, he's telling me more than he told his parents. Because why? I hurt his feelings. I validated how he felt, and it was a guy. Most guys will say, I don't want you to. They don't want to talk about feelings at all. But then they see a guy do that, and they go, oh, I guess it's okay to do that. This is a safe way to do it. A safe person to talk to. So empathy, so state why it appears they're frustrated. Well, because I know how much you love computer time. Or I know how much you don't like to go to bed. So like computer time in the classroom. Or they're talking to a friend. Or they want to put their phone away. Well, I know how much you love your phone. I know how much you like to stay in touch with your friends. I know how much you love your music. But what time is it right now? We use a question to lead up to it. So I validate them. I can see, hey, I know. I can see you like that. Feel how they feel with them. Let them see it in your face and your voice. Can you see that I care? Can you see it? That's what they need to see. That's what they need to see. After you empathize, pause again so they have time to emote more. So I might go, well, I can see why you're frustrated, or I know how much you love your computer time. And I pause. Yes, I do. I'm almost done. I'm trying to finish this up. Can I just have 2 more minutes? You know what? Let me set the timer. 2 minutes. And if you're off in 2 minutes, what's your reward? I get to have all of my recess. If you're not, what happens? Every minute I lose a minute of recess. Cool. I'm all right with that. Here's some other things after you pause. Well, if you care, you'd let me do this, or you'd give me more time, but you really don't care. That's the kind of things you'll hear when you validate them. You know, when you're showing that you care, they're going to try to show you don't care. Especially if you've never done this before, they're going to look at you like you're an alien. Like, what did you do with my teacher? What happened to you? It's funny, kids in my office, they'll tell their parents, you're doing that stuff Jim taught you. You know, you're doing that therapy stuff on me. And I tell them, well, hey, I can see you're frustrated. I tell the parents to say that. Oh, okay, I can see you're frustrated. Instead of saying, you know, getting defensive or something. Okay? If they're still emotional, they may still be insane. So if they're still here, what do I need to do? Validate and empathize more. Or maybe we need to walk away. So they need more validation or empathy before I can go to the next step. You can apologize for the way they feel. You just keep, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. I can see you're still upset. They may bring something else up. I can see you're really upset about that. Or they might try to make it personal. You hate me. You know what a lot of people do? Teachers and parents, what do they do? Oh, what do you mean I hate you? Do you think I do this for the money? You know, because we make a lot of money. You make a lot of money as teachers? Yeah, they think you make, to them it's a lot, but I know it's not a lot of money. You guys aren't doing it for the money, and you take it personal. And that's not going to work, and that's what they want. They want you to take it personal, because misery loves company. They're trying to bring you into it. So, all you do when they say you hate me, you don't love me, you don't care about me, gosh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm really sorry you feel that way. And then you pause. Well, you do. If you cared about me, if you loved me, you would let me do this, you'd let me do that, or you'd give me a pass or whatever. But you just, you know, and then they're doing this as they're talking. Even though it sounds like they're getting worse, they're getting it out. And now they're getting to a point where you can start to speak logic into them. So validation and empathy is the right side of the brain. Sometimes I draw a circle of a brain, and on the right side I have validation and empathy, and then on the left side of the circle I have choices, or logic, or reason. It's a great drawing, and I hand it to them. I just draw it in there, and I say, when they're emotional, we're going to speak to this side of the brain. With what? Validation and empathy. And then on the left side is the logic and reasoning. And that's when we can start talking about choices and options. We have a couple of choices. We can turn the computer off now and get ready for bed. We can turn the computer off now and start math. We can put your phone away now and get your science book out. You know, or I can send you to the office and you can talk to the principal about it. Or you can, you know, the dean. Or I'll take your cell phone if you're a parent and turn it off. Or if you don't give it to me, I'll just turn it off. So I'll give you a couple more minutes to think about it. Because they might do this again. I'll give you 2 minutes to think about it. Because remember, they need more time. They don't think quick like that. They don't have that luxury. They just feel so intense so quickly that just give them a couple minutes. I've had kids, you know, the parents are like, hey, you need to turn the TV off because we're going to be leaving in 2 minutes. So I'm going to turn the timer for 1 minute so you can put your shoe on. And if it's not off in 1 minute, what happens? And then he freaks out. I'm not turning it off, and I don't care. I'm not going to put my shoes on. And I remember one kid saying, I hate breakfast. I mean, the kid loves to eat, you know. He's like, I hate breakfast. Well, he's temporarily insane. Because, I mean, any boy that says he doesn't like food, we got a problem, okay? He's insane, okay? That's a good indication he's emotional, right? So we can admit your part in this and resolve this now and resume your privileges when the trust is restored. So after they've calmed down, if they broke your trust, if they were disrespectful to you, if they cursed at you, is this the time to deal with it if they curse at you when they're insane? Is that the time? Oh, you can't talk to me like that. You mother, you know, and they just keep, right? And they just did it, right? So instead, you know, hey, now that we've calmed down, let's discuss how we can make this right. Let's discuss your part in this. Or you can go to bed early, sleep on it, and then we'll resolve it in the morning. Or you can go home and we can resolve it. So I've had kids go home and sleep on it and come back and tell the teacher, you know, the principal, okay, I'm going to clean out this kid's desk and I'm going to carry his backpack for the day. The day before that, he screamed and said, I'm not doing anything for that kid. I hate him. He was where? Insane. Okay? temporarily. When he calmed down, he came back. He had choices to clean out the desk or carry his backpack, and he chose to do both. So I'm going to go into more detail about that plan. So give you some time to think about it, and then we'll resolve it with the AMC plan.